Dr. Khan here and her daughter, Farrell, they recorded the temperature in the hallway at 4 p.m. each day during the 30 days of April. Okay, and they've got different opinions about the mean temperature. Okay, so this was Dr. Khan here on a notepad, summarised the temperatures in a group frequency table. So we've got this here. And it says, and unfortunately, Dr. Khan has torn the page containing the table from her notepad and has lost some of the original data. Well, to be honest, she's lost that there, but that's easy to work out, isn't it? Because it's 30 days, yeah? So we've got 4, 8, and 8 there. That gives me 20, doesn't it? So that means there's got to be 10 days here, okay? It's not too difficult for us to see that there, yeah? Because it's got to be 30 days in April, and it says there, doesn't it? Okay. So then calculate an estimate of the mean temperature at 4 p.m. for these 30 days in Dr. Khan's hallway. Well, remember, when you work out mean from a table, it is an estimate, okay? Because what we're doing here is we're going to choose a value, right? And we've got to choose the midpoint value of me to represent that group. So the midpoint there will be 20.5, okay? Yeah, and the midpoint here will be 21.5. So we just go in the middle, essentially. We've got to go in the middle. The midpoint here will be 22.5. And the midpoint here will be 23.5. Okay, so if you think about it now, we've got 4 days where the temperature was 20.5. So what we can do now is multiply them. Yeah, okay. So you can put the answer here if you want, or you can do your workings down here. But we have got 20.5 temperature for 4 days. So we've got 4 lots of them. 21.5 then was for 8 days. And then we've got 22.5 was for another 8 days, and then 23.5 for 10 days. So that's working out the total of the temperatures, yeah? Okay, so we'll do that in a minute. Remember then, when you work out the mean, you work out the total by adding them all up, and then you divide by how many there. Now there's 30 there, isn't there? Don't forget 30 days this was recorded over, so there's 30 different temperatures. So if we work all this out here, maybe we work out the whole top line first. So 20.5 times 4 plus 21.5 times 8 plus 22.5 times 8 plus 23.5 times 10, and that comes to 669, and then we'll divide them by 30. So divide the answer by 30 and I get 22.3 Celsius as my mean temperature, okay, as an estimate. Now, part B then, it says, what assumption have you made in calculating an estimate of the mean temperature at 4 p.m? Well, what assumption have we made? Well, if you think about it, we assumed, didn't we, this temperature here to represent that group, okay? And we chose that one because it is midpoint, isn't it? So those 4 days, if the temperature falls in that group, okay, the midpoint, 20.5, is a pretty good estimate. Okay, so, but that's our assumption, isn't it? We've assumed, okay, right, or we've chosen the midpoint of each group to represent our temperature, okay? Part C then says Farrell recorded the same temperatures as her mother at 4 p.m. each day during April. She found that the actual mean temperature in the hallway during April was lower than the correctly calculated estimate of the mean. Okay, now Farrell's doing it differently. She's actually working out the temperatures, the mean of the temperatures, by adding them all up separately and then dividing by 30, whereas Dr. Khan had it in the table, yeah? So we're going to explain now how come the actual mean was lower. Well, because this was our estimate, okay, it could be, we estimated the temperature to be the midpoint here, but it could be a lot of the temperatures were at the lower end, if that makes sense. So if they were at the lower end of the group, okay, so if they were in low 20s, yeah, and low 21s, low 22s, low 23s, and so on, then this estimate here, which is what we go for, the midpoint, is actually a little bit too high, if that makes sense. So we can make that as a statement. It could be that the actual temperatures were at the lower end of each group. Okay, and that would lead then to a lower mean, wouldn't it, compared to choosing the midpoints.